Now I want to mix history and sport and the Australian national anthem, which you used to sing proudly, vocally, and all the rugby players sing it so well, but we've had rugby league players refusing to sing it. Sarah Henderson, tell me, what should be done with the Australian anthem? Should we be clipping out the word young and replace it with one? It doesn't sound too much to give up, I would have thought.
Well, I haven't been sold on that argument. It's a difficult proposition to change a national anthem in a piecemeal way. So I think further consultation would be required in relation to that change, I have to say, Chris.
But we've already removed some words over the years. We made sure that it wasn't, I think, boys. We moved boys, didn't we, at some stage? And now we've put in another word for the changing times to include the fact, or not take out women in reference to who we're referring to. Why couldn't we just change young to one? Because we are one of the oldest civilisations, forget about white and black, on the planet.
Well, we are, Chris, and I think this is very much the domain of Indigenous Australians. If this is something that they support, then I think that would be a very constructive thing. But the piecemeal approach I'm not sure about. But certainly we are, one of the oldest nations in the world. And I know when I started studying law, which was before Mabo, that wasn't even recognised under law. And so things have changed, obviously, monumentally in the last couple of decades. And so I would be very much guided by Indigenous Australians on this. Do they think this is satisfactory and enough?
Gary Linnell.
I just don't like the song.
We can't sing it, us blokes.
No, it's too high for a start.
Yes.
And that's why you need a soprano on the field singing it before the start of every grand final, because none of us can sing along. And I also think it's served its time. It comes from an era, 1870s, 1880s, when it was written. It goes back to that 19th century, which they had different standards, they had different beliefs, and you can never look at history through the prism of today. But I just think, let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of the word girt. No one uses the word girt.
Come on, girt's a fantastic word.
It's not a good word. It's a ridiculous word. You've got kids in school who go, girt, what does that mean? You're going to explain it to them. We never use it.
All right, what do you want to see as the national anthem?
Have a national songwriting competition.
Start again.
And get Jimmy Barnes to sing it. Something that's going to be an earworm for the next 20, 30 years. Just something a bit more rocky.
George Gregan, you sang it with so much heart and passion. What do we do with the national anthem?
Well, it's coming from a sporting person, like when you sing it, particularly when you're away from this country, it does resonate with you because that's what you grew up and you sang the national anthem. Is there room for a little bit of movement in terms of what's applicable now? I think so, and I like what Sarah was saying in terms of getting some sign-off and getting some serious input from our Indigenous population. We are, like, one of the oldest Indigenous populations, the oldest in the world, lucky enough to go up to Arnhem Land. I think when you go up there, you realise what a special place this country is. So when I sang the national anthem, it really did reinforce that. But I tell you what, go back to 2003 Rugby World Cup. Wasn't such a good day at the office in the final, but we went prior to that final. We were lucky enough as a squad, the Wallaby squad, with coaches to go to Arnhem Land, and wow, that's when you know you're Australian, when you go up there. And so I think that there is room for it. I like the idea and I like the discussion. Yeah. And could we sing it? And it represents what we are truly as Australian. I like the idea of that too.
Great stuff. All right, we've run out of time. I could do this for another hour. Gary Linnell, George Gregan, Sarah Henderson, thank you so much, the three of you, for your time.